What's up, all you amazing folks out there? Thanks for joining me on the Late Show with Gray. How is everybody doing out there this evening? Hope everybody's doing well. We have a lot to discuss tonight. Hopefully, I can pack it all into an hour. And I got a couple corrections I want to make in the beginning so I don't forget, like I did last live stream. Because when I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And I like to call that out on myself. Anyways, let's say hello to some of you awesome, amazing people that have been hanging out with us in chat for a while. I want to say hello to some of you people. Who do we got tonight? We got Snakebite in the house. TN Prepping Lady, Joni Friels, Tara Smiles, Harvey Black. Good to see you, brother. Let me see. Who else do we have? Chet. Good to see you, Chet. One of our winners from the last live stream. What's up, big dog? Joni Friels. JRC Homestead. JT in the house. Good to see you, JT. All right. Scott, what is up, Scott? Okay, Carolina Terminal said calling Puckman and you're restricting months ago. Wow, that's crazy, Scott. It's only going to get worse, unfortunately. What's up, Barbara? Good to see you as well. Oh, man. What's up, Yarn? Thanks so much for being here, Yarn. And we got Colleen Rich in the house. Don Lyons, 103 in Texas. Man, yeah, heat wave is a-coming, folks. A heat wave is a-coming. It's going to be hotter in Maine, I think, this week than it is in Florida. Crazy. In the 90s. Record-breaking. Record-breaking. Minuteman 69 trying to win a stove. Oh, man, I love it. Western Oklahoma, $3.99. Man, I wish my prices were $3.99. Woo. Man, that'd be great. What's up, Pony Girl? Little Alaskan Home Place. On my way, a.k.a. Ethel. I'm glad I figured that out, Ethel. What's up, Angela? Good to see you as well. Who else do we got this beautiful evening? And anytime, every evening is great when I have you, when I'm, having a live stream with the Gray community. And Harvey, that's pretty cool, Harvey. That is going to be my monologue. Believe it or not. Sassy Gal Prepping, good to see you. Thank you for being here. All right, I'm going to try to keep on scrolling so we can kind of get to this. Marilyn, good to see you as well. Dale, Michelle, Rucker, because I know we got a couple of Michelles. Dot 457, the Bitter Critter, Allison Sherman, Lori D, not in my crosshairs. I don't know how you do that, but that's pretty cool with your name. McBean is in the house. Lady T, KB. Organic Becca is in the house. Be Charming, good to see you. Alien Prepper, thanks for being down and hanging out with us. Baba Ellis, Bonnie Swenson. Who else do we got in here? Jeff Sams. Chief is in the house. And Chief, I wanted to show you that picture you sent me today, but I couldn't. I forgot to download it. I have so much other stuff, Chief, but I really appreciate all the information you've been sending me. What's up, Nature Girl? What's up, Rhonda? Brian, Tiny Titan, Gal Sweeney. Who else we have? Frank. We got Frank in the house. Nature Girl. Sharon. I can't pronounce your last name, Sharon. I always butcher it. Seabass, Lori D. Andrew, Tina, Karen. Who else? Make sure I'm going to try to scroll all the way down here. RP Strange, good evening from Central Florida. Well, hello, neighbor. ID Prepping, good to see you. Hig Homestead, Peace Train of America. Hello, all the wonderful mods. That's pretty cool. Van City, good to see you. Structure things right on. Mad Mama. Oh, man, that is awesome. All right, I think I've caught up. If I missed anybody, I truly apologize. Thank you. Thank you for being here. We just have a lot to go over. So first, one correction I need to make was on the Sunday shift report. The SHTF has hit the fan. If you guys aren't familiar with it, it's a show that I do on Sunday. It's a premiere. It's with an interactive chat. But I made an error, honestly. I said something that was wrong, and I want to correct that. And so let me bring that up first. Get my little handy dandy folder here with all my stuff. Make sure that pops up over there. And let's share the screen. Or no, that's not it. You guys not supposed to see that yet. Where did it go? Oh, man. Where did you go, buddy? There you are. All right, man. Crazy stuff. You guys aren't supposed to see that one yet. But we're going to talk about that too, man. There's some crazy stuff going on. All right. So on the Sunday shift report, I reported that Al-Qaeda, this article said Al-Qaeda leader al-Zawahiri made an appearance in a pre-recorded video to talk about the 11th anniversary of the death of his predecessor, Osama bin Laden. Anyways, he says al-Zawahiri says that the video, in his video, that U.S. weakness was the reason that its ally, Ukraine, became prey for the Russian invasion. So I was wrong. Ukraine is not an ally with al-Zawahiri or Al-Qaeda. Come to find out, they had some folks that were deployed over there and help the U.S. Military and other allies over there fight in that conflict. So I want to apologize for misinforming my viewers, if anybody happened to catch that. But, I just wanted to correct myself on that. And I did read into it and did a little bit more research, and I was wrong. And sometimes you got to come on YouTube and save face, man, and be like, hey, man, Gray was wrong. So that's the first part. That was the one that I was wrong on that. So, again, my apologies. Rich Wells, good to see you. Homestead homeboy, Jersey girl. One liberty, one freedom. Did I catch you, B. Walker? I think I did. I hope I did. Anyways, the other thing is yes, so I had fun on the review that I did on those Olites. And don't worry, we're going to get into the meat and potatoes of this here in a minute. But the Olite review that I did yesterday, actually, I'm surprised it's doing well. I really like doing reviews, to be honest with you folks. I know some folks don't like watching these reviews, but it was these flashlights that I was doing the review on. And Gray always gets something wrong. So, it's because there's so much information, and I never did a flashlight review. So they gave me these 3 flashlights to review because it's their 15th anniversary. And I like Olite. Some people don't. Some people rather through night. Some people read Streamlight. Everybody has their preference. Some people say these are expensive. But now I'm an affiliate, and people who use my affiliate link, of course, get 10% off. But so what I did is this flashlight here. I don't know if anybody caught it on the review, but I said it was brass. It's not. You can easily tell that this is copper, but I called it brass. And the reason I got that confused is because the pen here, which you're probably not going to be able to see that pen. I don't know. It probably won't focus on there. It just wants to focus. Oh, there it goes. That's copper. So I got a little bit confused. What's up, Homestead Homeboy? Thank you so much for the super chat. I truly appreciate that. I was like, what is that? Why in the hell is there a diesel shortage? Is it easier to make than gasoline? Let's go. Yeah, right, Minute Man. I'm telling you, man, the dismantling of America, bro. I'm telling you, it's getting crazy. What's up, Ark Wild Man? Good to see you as well. Yeah, I appreciate that, Angela. I know some people don't like reviews, but I'm going to be 100% forthcoming to you, my viewers that are hanging out with me. We got 113 people hanging out in chat right now, which is awesome. And we got 86 thumbs up. Not too bad. Okay. So at my level where I'm at on YouTube, I'll be 100%. People will dream up numbers, but you don't make much money, right? You don't really make a living. If anybody's trying to make a living off YouTube, you need to get to 100,000 or plus. I don't know if you can even make a living at that point. But here's what I enjoy about doing the reviews is I get free stuff. Okay. I get free stuff that I like, that I enjoy, and then maybe that you, the viewers, might enjoy. Unfortunately, you don't get it for free. Now, I am working out deals. As I'm working and building relationships with these companies, I'm slowly working into doing, hey, sure, I'll do the review, but can you give me something for a giveaway? So that is a work in progress. So for my, that's the best part. I guess YouTube, that's my monetary input on it is I like getting the stuff from the affiliates for me to do reviews on, because then it's something for me to have that I don't have to pay for. And it's enjoyable doing the reviews and showing some of this gear that I normally probably can't afford to buy all this stuff and show it to you guys. So that's my complete honesty in the reviews. If you ever watch a review, you don't have to click on an affiliate link. You don't have to buy it. If you want to watch it and support the channel, great. If you want to drop a comment and your thoughts, awesome. But anytime I do something, I don't want you to feel compelled that you have to buy it because Gray said, hey, go down and click on my affiliate link. It's not like that, folks. If I do a review, these people give me an affiliate link, or they'll give me something to entice viewers to want to look at the stuff and possibly purchase something. If you want it, then great. You might save a 10%, 15, 20%, whatever it might be. You have to show your tater tots in lingerie videos to make good money. Yeah, Bonnie, you're absolutely right. You are 100%. I talk about that a lot too, because it's kind of disheartening that's what you have to do on social media platforms to make money. What's up, Hawkeye? Good to see you. But anyways, folks, enough of that whole money stuff. But I just wanted to tell you why I enjoy doing the reviews, because that's a way for me not to have to pay for things. And then, of course, I can do things like, donate money towards getting food for people in food pantries, or I can donate money to things like getting toys for kids and stuff like that, or investing into the channel and stuff like that. Anyways, that's my spiel. Let's get into the meat and potatoes of this live stream, because that's why we're here, right? All right. When a man admits his mistakes, people know he can be trusted, brother. I appreciate that, Jeff. I appreciate that. You know, it's just I'm my own worst critic. You know what I mean? When I watch some of the videos that I do, and I tell my wife, I'm like, I hate this video. I should have not uploaded this video. And she's like, why? And I said, because I said this is copper and that's brass, or I said this or that, or I'll get something wrong, or I'll twist my words up a little bit. And she's like, you need to calm down. People love you for who you are. Stop overthinking it and just do you and run with it. And if someone corrects you, awesome. And if you do something really crazy, just correct yourself on the next time you get an opportunity to do so, like here on a live stream. So she is a very good support structure for me because, like, again, I'm my own worst critic. So let me get into, I appreciate the reviews. Lets me know if it's worth getting. And yes, Rhonda, that's one thing I will tell you. I will tell you if it's crap. That I'm going to be honest with you. And luckily, I haven't got too much crap. Only that one dehydrator. Whew, man, that was a piece of crap. I did an unboxing on it, and I didn't follow it with the review. I told the company I'm sorry. Their radio was good, but the dehydrator was crap. Unfortunately, I had to go out and buy me a Nesco and use that. Speaking of dehydrators, and I know I'm going to go down to a sidetrack, but that's me. That's just my personality going these little side rants. If someone asked me, hey, how do you, when you get your potatoes, or when you get your tomatoes out the garden, how do you keep them fresh? You have so many tomatoes, Gray. And I said, well, if I'm going to eat them within a day or two, I'll take the tomato and put it stem down on a plate or a little thing and keep it at room temperature. And that'll keep for about 2 to 3 days. And they'll ripen because when tomatoes ripen, there's a gas that it releases, and it makes it a little bit more sweeter. Now, some people say you can put them in the fridge, and yeah, that's okay. But if you notice, it does change. It does change the texture a bit. And the only time I put my tomatoes in the fridge is when I'm going to let them chill a little bit, and then I'm going to slice them. But the best way to, if you ever want to preserve tomatoes, is canning. You know, like pressure canning, making some salsa and stuff like that. Some people even pickle tomatoes. But that's their choice, or dehydrate them and have some sun-dried tomatoes that you can add to stuff. At least that's from my perspective on the best ways for tomatoes. Twice baked potato. Right on, Savage. Good to see you, man. Yeah, right. Right, Ethel, that is true. All right, so the title of this live stream is The Dismantling of America. Will we be in a recession in 2023? And we're going to look at some information here. Some disturbing information, but let me, most people don't read the descriptions of videos. They just, they come on, they check it out, they watch the video and stuff like that. But I usually put my monologue, if you guys know what monologues are, in my description. It says, and Harvey posted it, ironically enough, I thought it was kind of funny. But it says, the slow dismantling of America is happening right before our eyes. And yes, these are my words. From store shortages across the board, like baby formula, and various other grocery store items. Fuel and gas prices are continuing to rise, breaking all previous fuel records. Warnings of blackouts this summer, specifically in the Midwest and California. The housing market bubble is about to burst. The housing market hasn't been this bad since 2008, folks. And it's right there. It's right there. It's like a little firecracker, then the fuse is lit. We got, rent is skyrocketing. Mega droughts are plaguing the West Coast. Fertilizer shortages are hurting our farmers' crops, which is putting our food supply at crisis levels. We are at the tipping point in our country. Slow burn or firestorm. We are headed for some form of economic collapse. These are my own words. This is how I feel. There's so much going on. And, I hate to get political, to be honest with you, but the current administration, and even some of the, I'll be honest, even some of the Republicans are shocking. $40 billion. That's a lot of money, folks. $40 billion is a lot of money to send to another country, especially when we are in a economic strife into the situation that we're in. And it takes focus off so much. There's so many people going through some really troubling times right now, and things are getting worse. And it's continuing to exacerbate the already nasty situation that's growing in our country. So this is why I feel that the powers that be currently are doing everything they can do to dismantle the America that we know. Just a few years ago, everything was great. Wasn't perfect, but it was a lot better than it is now, right? I mean, we have to admit that. We were a little bit more, at least we felt a little bit more secure at that time point. You know, my wife is now paying double. She pays double to fill her tank up, literally double. Gas prices here in my area, $4.49. Matter of fact, I got that. Let me share that with you folks. No problem, Liz Chavez. Better late than never, as I always say. Equality must be like Ethiopia. Yeah, right, Mike? All right, where is this is a shot from one of my gas stations here locally. Let me bring this up so that you guys can see it. So regular gas there is $4.49. Diesel at $5.69. Diesel across the country is insane. And diesel's what most tractors run on, which a lot, also your tractor trailers. There's a lot of things that need diesel fuel. And of course, we're moving into this problem where there's a shortage. And then the current administration just cut the leases on oil leases in the Gulf and Alaska. How does that make sense? Unless you're absolutely trying to destroy this country. At least that's from my perspective. We're already in a bad situation and you're trying to make it worse. Look, everybody's talking about electric cars, electric this, windmills, and all this other stuff. They take power. They take electricity to power these electric vehicles. We're worried about emissions. Well, with the things that are going in California, and they're going to have rolling blackouts, how does that make sense? How are you supposed to charge these electric vehicles because you're so worried about emissions? And cars have gotten so, they've gotten so many restrictions on in this day and age. They're a lot better than they used to be compared to the 50s. Anyways, and then I wanted to show you, where was it? I wanted to show you another picture I have here. Let's jump into that. Was that one? Formula. We're in a situation where formula is scarce. And if not, you cannot find it. Come to find out, this administration had something to do with it. And I was like, how? How did they have something to do with it? It had to do with a report to the FDA and a bunch of other stuff. And it had to do with Similac. And someone reported something to Similac. So instead of trying to resolve the issue, because I guess the company itself runs about 43% of the formula in this country. So instead of having a plan, like other than just removing it and having a plan to fill that void, they just removed it and said, oh, well, whatever. But this formula that you see on your screen right now, that's not for Americans. This right here, this formula that you see right here, that's not for Americans. That's for the migrants. This is in a Texas warehouse. Fox News and a couple other places broke this. I have an article I'll show you. But that's not for the American people. This is not for the American people. That's nuts. I figured I'd go through the pictures first. Now, this was sent to me by Endless Prepper. This is in California. This is in California. I know it's probably hard to see on your screen. But basically, this is radiation emergencies. This is in a mall. Endless Prepper on Instagram shared this with me. They have these things in the mall, radiation emergencies in California. Are they trying to get their folks aware that something might be coming down the pipe? He said that's on one side. It tells you how to get inside, stay inside, but it's a way, and listen to the radio. And I think there's another part of this here. Let me see here. Let me make this small again. Not that way, great. And that's the other side. Where to go in a radiation emergency in a mall. We haven't seen stuff like this in the 50s, or was it also the Cuban Missile Crisis and the when we're in the Cold War, and you practice it in school, get under your desk, which like that would do anything. But this isn't a mall in California. Like I said, Endless Prepper shared this with me on Instagram. Was that it? Oh, and yeah, and this is funny. It's not funny, literally, but this mind blown, right? You got Gates, Zuckerberg, and other billionaires investing in artificial breast milk. I wonder why. I wonder why they're doing this. Is this formula situation planned? Now, I'm being conspiratorial, of course, and my apology. And I can't see chat either, folks, so I do apologize if you're writing stuff. But good to see all you folks out there. There's 160 folks in there. I can't see the thumbs up either. But anyways, artificial breast milk cultured from human mammary glands. A new and better breast milk alternative has arrived, and it claims to be helpful for the environment as well. The U.S. firm BioMilk is an artificially producing human breast milk from cultured human mammary epithelial, I can't even say epithelial cells to be commercially available to consumers. The startup company has received $3.5 million and is co-founded by the Gates and Bezos, Zuckerbergs, and Branson. If they have anything to do with it, I don't want nothing to do with it. Who knows what's in it? Yeah, Potato Head. Mrs. Potato Head, I like to say. I agree. Everything is Mitten. I'm telling you. They try to make us seem like we're crazy or we're going crazy. But we wake up every day and it's just something else. It's just something else. And again, the dismantling of the America that we know. I just don't, man. Can we get a break? Can we just get a break for a couple of weeks? Can we get a breather? Can we spend some time with our family and relax without having to worry that it's going to cost us $100 to fill our tanks up at the gas station? Yeah, right, Alien. Oh, Alien, that was hilarious, man. Thanks for the laugh, my friend. And here's the big thing here's the big, huge thing, folks, is now it's mainstream. The formula shortage is now mainstream. So people are going to be in a massive panic, and it's going to exacerbate that situation. It's going to get worse. So if anybody has small children or grandkids that need formula, that have to have it, you may want to look at alternatives if you possibly can. Some people say goat milk. I've never tried it, so I don't want to recommend something, but some of you folks know better than I do. Some of you folks might have been raised on the stuff. But man, if I would have known now, I mean, that's something that I don't have in my preps because I don't have any children at that age. But if you have a mutual assistant group or a MAG or a group of like-minded people and someone gets pregnant down the road, I can see how that might be important formula, because some people, some people can't breastfeed. There's issues or whatever that the issue might be, and they might need that, or they might need some other alternatives. So it's something to look into, especially if you're trying to prep for that situation. What's up, Doc Man? Good to see you. JRC says fresh goat milk is really good. Thank you. Ark Wildman says I love goat milk. Savage says I was raised on goat milk. All right, so I guess goat milk is a great alternative. Wet nurses people just like the back in the day. Roger that. Just make sure it is at least raw A2 milk. And it's funny, Peter, how there's certain states that try to outlaw raw milk, believe it or not. Freaky Geek. Yeah, it's just weird. That's just weird. Like I said, this country is just getting weird in general. All right. So, to top it off, let me bring up some stuff real quick in regards to because I want to save enough time so we can chit chat a little bit. I want to go over through some of these articles that I have for you. One thing that Yarn Prepper shared with me earlier today, if you're in the state of Florida, I want to show you something. And matter of fact, I'll take this link and put it in chat so that you guys have it. But Florida has a program, like I said, Yarn told me about this, where they're giving away free seeds. It says Florida, and I love Florida, man. I don't know. Florida just keeps on getting better, folks. But the Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services is announcing locations where Floridians can pick up free seed packets starting Monday the 9th. You have to click on here and go to, it tells you all the, like whatever county that you're in, and you click on that county and it tells you where to go. I'm going to participate. It's only about 20 minutes away for me to get some free seeds. But I'm going to go ahead and put that in chat. I wonder if I can just, let me see here. I'm going to have to, can I put it in chat in StreamYard? Let's find out. I think so. Oh, I can. Awesome. But that's the link for you Floridians out there. If you guys want to check that out and get some free seeds. All right. What else do we have next on the agenda? Look at all these little ads I have. Oh, yeah. Here we go. Iran readies for grid blackout with war with U.S. This was dated May 9th, just a couple days ago. So we have China, we have Iran, we have North Korea, we have Russia, and the list is just growing. We're just agitating everyone. And not to say that we haven't already, but here we are. Iran readies for grid blackout war with the U.S. And I don't want to take up too much time and read this whole article. And if anybody wants to, like I said, I can do it, but Real quick, it says, in the latest sign that Iran is readying for a military clash with the United States, even as it works to revive the Obama-era nuclear deal, experts have revealed that Tehran is hardening its critical infrastructure as a possible response to an attack on the U.S. electrical grid. Nuts. Nuts. What do we got here? And speaking of blackouts, right? It says, this is from SF. I think this is a San Francisco periodical, but it says, get ready for blackouts this summer as unprecedented strain could affect California's power grid. While it's not exactly a surprise nowadays, it's still wild to think that because California's out-of-date power grid, which most of in the U.S. are, is so incompetent, residents of the state expect scheduled power outages and random blackouts regularly. Think about the crime in California. Think about the crime, and when a blackout happens, people take advantages of the situations. Imagine they shut something off and it doesn't come back on for whatever reason because their power grid and their power stations are outdated. Anyways, 1.3 million homes. That's a lot of people. Let's say a couple people per home. That's 3 to 5 million people affected by these rolling blackouts and power outages. Nuts. To top that off, I think here we go. And this is Texas. Power generators, providers, and are making summer preps. At least they're prepping, right? But are hamstrung by ERCOT's caution. Basically, Austin, Texas, as a power generators and providers complete the last of their preparations before the summer's high demand arrives. This is air conditioned, folks, and it's going to be a hot one this year. It's going to be nasty out there. The weather, I mean, Maine, 90 degrees in Maine, man. But one trade organization said ERCOT's caution stemming from the deadly 2021 winter storm. Recently, the Texas power grid has experienced tight conditions in which power demand and supply nearly meet and cause concerns for power outages. In fact, Austin Energy had to shut off power for almost 3,600 South Austin customers on Saturday because demand was so high. This was the Saturday that just passed. So that's Texas as well, folks. You know, what's next is, you know, I don't want to, I guess I don't want to jinx myself. But what kind of hurricane season are we going to have this year? When it's hot and the oceans warm up, hurricanes are very strong. And if you live in Louisiana, you know, Louisiana still hasn't recovered. Parts of Florida and the Panhandle still haven't recovered because FEMA is not as great as they say they are. Man, it's a scary thought. I tell you one thing, I'll probably gain 1,000 subscribers because if a hurricane comes my direction, I'm going to be in it. I'm going to put my life on the line for views, just not really, but I'm going to be out there because I want to show people how to prepare for a hurricane, how to live through the hurricane and the aftermath. I want to document that whole situation if it happens. Anyways, it says, this article says recession in 2023. Predictions are growing. Should investors worry? Should we worry as citizens? Anyways, it says, economically speaking, these are unprecedented times. Unlike any other in our history, some people even equate this to situations back in the 1500s of the drought that's affecting the Midwest and California. People are looking at, like I said, this one says the global pandemic massively affected economic conditions. The subsequent stimulus packages had unpredictably outsized impact on inflation. If you've been hearing the word recession a lot lately, you're not alone. In fact, most major finance news outlets are all bracing for one. But here's what worries me about this article. However, a new report by Deutsche Bank is predicting that this one could be much worse than expected. So what does that mean for the country and for your finances and investments? Below, we'll break down what experts are saying and how your investments will be affected and how to protect your assets during an economic decline. Now, none of that really matters because unless you're into the whole stock market game or the crypto game and stuff like that, now's the time to pull out. Things are getting bad. Unless you have that money that you want to lose, but it's getting shaky. I mean, if you looked, I think the stock market has shed, was it $3 trillion or $7 trillion since the beginning of this year? That's insane, unheard of, crazy. Anyways, inflation is growing at the fastest rate in 40 years, causing their Federal Reserve to announce the biggest interest hikes since 2000. The market, and that's I think we had a small recession in 2000. The markets are already responding, have dropped 7.85% over the past 5 days. A new report by Deutsche Bank predicts that the U.S. will experience a recession that is far worse than anyone has predicted. So basically, this company is saying here in the U.S., they're trying to sugarcoat things and not have anybody panic or worry. But this company is saying that it's going to be a lot worse than what we expect. Anyways, very, very intriguing stuff, man. And as you see, I'm working through these articles relatively quick. This is with that one thing that I was showing you, that picture that I showed you. Corn Pops administration shipping pallets of baby formula to border amid nationwide shortage. Again, to heck with Americans. Let's worry about the illegal immigrants coming across the border illegally. That, of course, is going to stress everything else. The food, the medical, the food banks, the welfare system, all that stuff like that. I don't know why I'm doing this in the background. Who knows why? I'm just very handsy, I guess. But isn't that nuts? Man, shipping pallets of baby formula to a border amid nationwide shortage. Now, the person that broke this, GOP Kat Kamek, who's I think she's a Florida Republican, says the administration has been shipping pallets of baby formula to illegal immigrants in the U.S. holding facilities amid a nationwide shortage that has sent mothers across the country in search for the newborn foods. Corn Pop is sending pallets of baby formula to the border. The Florida lawmaker, okay, so she is from Florida, said Wednesday in an online postings. Meanwhile, store shelves across America are empty and moms are being told they don't know when more is coming. Again, what else do we got here? All right, I already talked about and that's an article on the whole Gates breast milk stuff. Sometimes that'd be redundancy. I think that's it, folks. I think I could finally jump back into chat and see how many people are mad at me for not paying attention to chat. Let me close out all these stuff that I got here. I don't want to click too fast because I'll close out my live stream. What's up, Growing with Hudson? Honey Badgers Homestead? Rachel Atkins? Agree, Rachel, you're absolutely right. Whimsical Renegade, roger that. They got formula at the border, right? Everybody go down to the border, grab some formula. Man. I like your mitten prepper. I like your emojis. Hawkeye, you're absolutely right. And here's what's funny, Hawkeye, about that. Yeah, Empress, we are becoming a third world country, it seems, right? Coinbase, Hawkeye says Coinbase is facing bankruptcy. So here's the funny thing. Coinbase is, if you guys care, Coinbase is a platform like Robinhood and stuff like that, where you can buy stock, more so of the crypto stuff. I think Robinhood, you could do a little bit more with that. But anyways, Coinbase put out an article or a alert saying that they may go bankrupt. And if they do, and you have cryptocurrency in Coinbase, they can take it from you. They can steal that money from you legally. They can steal that money from you. Here's the funny thing, folks, is when companies do this and they pull this bankruptcy card and steal all your money, the people that run the company get rich. All the investors, they're the ones that lose. You, the citizens, you, the American citizens, lose everything you have invested into it. If that's something that you do, not all of us do. So never play with money that you truly need in the stock market, in the crypto game. I'm not going to lie to you. I play around with it. Matter of fact, I have a Coinbase account. I've made some decent money over the last couple of years with it, or the year or so. It's been over a year. But now that this is happening, I've been closing a lot of stuff out because I don't trust the company. Something shady's going on. Something shady's going on. NPR today played a recording of Tucker Carlson today, so I listened. He said that the blue team has open borders to alter the voting base. NPR disagreed and bashed TC for the red team for such and such. Rachel Atkins, thank you so much for the super chat. What preps do you plan to stock more of? Thanks for all you do and enjoy your lives. Well, Rachel, I'll be honest with you. My main focus, food, water, and medical. That's my main focus, to be honest with you. It's just essential. Those are my essentials that I must have. Even though, let's say I have 6 months or a year, I don't like to allude to exactly what I have. I got to stay a little gray. But food, water, and medical supplies is what's huge. That's why you see me doing, going hard on the garden. I'm trying to produce more food than I can consume, so that way I can it, dehydrate it, or do something with it. Now, I'll be honest with you folks, when it comes to the gardening aspect, and you only want to grow a couple of things, you might look at the aspect of looking at, let's say, potatoes. Something that has that doesn't cost you as much, but has a high caloric return. You know what I mean? Like your carbs, potatoes, things like that. Things that you can grow and are easy to grow. And like I said, we'll experiment with that. Matter of fact, I should go to the what's it called? The what the heck is that called that I did? The thing on my community tab where I had everybody vote, because it looks like potatoes might win. But oh yeah, what's up? What's up, David? Good to see you. Brass, lead, gold, and silver. Right on. Yeah, silver. I love silver. Everybody knows I love silver. It's that wealth retention. You can't eat it, but you can sure buy stuff with it when the dollar falls apart. But seeds, yes, seeds. David says, and David's a way better gardener than I am. I don't know if you guys know who David the Good is, but smart individual. I watch a lot of his content because I've learned a lot of stuff from folks like him. He says, I think learning to seed save is essential. Potatoes are a very good survival crop, the best in temperate climates. And folks, people have told me certain things in the past when it comes to, especially growing in Florida. Someone said, hey, you can't do this and you can't do that. But think about, sometimes if let's say if it's too hot or too cold, you have to find alternatives, either growing indoors, maybe growing in a shady place, somewhere it's a little cooler. There's just different things that you can do. So I don't want you to, feel that if someone says, hey, you can't do this, because here's what happened last year. I had an issue with my watermelons. And someone said, "Oh, well, you can't grow the watermelons. It's past the time you can grow them." And I was like, "Huh, interesting." Thank you, Suz. And David, honestly, yeah, I got sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes and yams, they're my favorite. I prefer them over white potatoes. I've never grown white potatoes, but I'll be growing some this year, most likely. Rachel Atkins says, I want to try microgreens indoors. Yes, definitely, Rachel. I would definitely go for that. Yarn says, Juice Loving Homes, we double the amount of potatoes we planted. I hope to can some. That's a great idea, Yarn. Snail mail for GreyMan. Thanks, Northern Girl. What's up, Elizabeth? All the way in Anchorage. Crazy. Where are we at on time? Oh, we got plenty of time. Beans, Dale, I love beans too. Matter of fact, I just got some a friend of mine sent me some seeds, but I also bought some heirloom seeds because there's specific corns. A lot of people told me, Grey, you can't grow corn. You can't grow corn. So, David, you didn't have to do that, man, but I appreciate it. Beans and rice, I appreciate you, brother. We'll have to do a live together again soon. David, just let me know, man. You know how to get a hold of me. I'm down when you're down, brother. That was fun. I had a good time that night. Other than the hiccup that we had, hey, everything went well, but you covered great. Growing with Hudson, that's awesome. Canning meats, I hear you. Hard to keep people from stealing wood too. Theft is becoming a huge issue. Theft is becoming a huge issue all around. People are stealing gas. Man, I had this video and I didn't have time to upload it to my computer to show you folks. Maybe I'll save it for the Sunday shift report. I pulled into a BJ's, which is like a Costco or a Sam's. And BJ's, they have discounted gas. If you're a member there, when you grow sweet potato ornamentally, do you yield a harvest? Any pot or planter okay? B Walker, I'm trying to understand when you grow sweet potatoes ornamentally, do you yield a harvest? I do. I always get sweet potatoes, from my harvest. Even if you're trying to use them ornamentally in your front yard for ground cover, if that's what you mean. Rhubarb. Savage, I eat rhubarb. What's up, Zombie Prepper? Good to see you. It was fun commandeering your stream like a super villain, Grey. I've got to reset the computer, me. Yeah, right? That was fun. B Charming says, Florida can grow corn. Guess they have never heard of Zellwood. Exactly, B. Matter of fact, I have a specific type of corn, man, and it's in the other room, and I can't remember the name of it. I just ordered it because I did deep research on what corn grows best in Florida climates. And it's a type of corn, and it's an heirloom corn that I had ordered a bunch of it because, you know, I want to do the Three Sisters. We're going to grow potatoes. We're probably going to do the Three Sisters. Thanks, David. The Three Sisters. I think that's going to be a great idea, doing the 50-gallon grow bag. And then someone made another good point. They was like, hey, if you're growing all those tomatoes and all those peppers and you're going to make spaghetti sauce, you need some onions, and you need some garlic, and you need some other things. So I might have to do that too. I might have to do that. So I have 3 other 50-gallon grow bags. I'm thinking about buying a 100-gallon one just to see. I don't know. Who knows what we're going to do? It'll get interesting this year, folks. But believe it or not, I'm going to be growing, probably not at this house, but I do have some Seminole pumpkin seeds that I ordered specifically for Florida. Matter of fact, I think David is the one that gave me that idea about Seminole pumpkins, because I tried to grow jack-o'-lantern pumpkins last year, and that was an absolute fail due to bugs. Be charming. Will do. I will. I'll do it on the Tuesday live. I'll bring it back up. I'll have the packets in here. And I'll also share where I bought them from. Just because like I said, I'm one of those research nerds. And when I look into stuff, I dig deep into things. Just get a bathtub from somewhere, get a couple, why not? Roger that. I'm growing beans, onions, peppers, tomatoes, and more. That's awesome, Rachel. Gray is right. Get those calories growing first. Peppers, lettuce, etc. are pleasant, but they do not fill you up. And think of what yeah. And that's if you can only choose a couple crops, you want to get the highest caloric crops that you can, like potatoes and stuff like that. Sweet potatoes, white potatoes, black beans. I like black beans. Right now I have a lot of purple hull peas, but black beans are nice to have, especially if you store rice and you want to grow your own black beans. But just think about that. You know what I mean? Just think about what you're growing. Matter of fact, I want to thank whoever in chat, it might have been Yarn Prepper, that dropped the link in regards to Walmart having that sale on that white hard wheat. That was dirt cheap. I bought 2 pails of it. I jumped right on it. My boss has 100 grow bags last year, and they held up well. And yeah, someone asked me about that, Tara. Someone said, how long do those grow bags last? And I said, it's dependent on the type of grow bag that you buy. Container gardening is a lot different than ground gardening. And believe it or not, folks, there's a law. There's a here in Brevard County specifically. I don't know if it's the entire state of Florida. It might be. But if you're gardening in the ground, there's a certain time between June and end of July. It's a month or two where you can't use fertilizer because the Indian River Lagoon, they're worried about runoff and pollution and stuff like that. Yeah, Hawkeye, that's not legal here. People have asked me about that. It's not legal. You cannot grow any type of cannabis, CBD, any type of derivative here without a license. And those are hard to come by, and they cost a lot of money. Now, if you're in a place like New York and California and Las Vegas and some of the Northeast regions and places like that where you can grow, yes, that would make sense. Yeah, and agree, David. Potatoes do store for a long time, just as well as the sweet potatoes as well. You can put them in certain spots. Whenever you grow something, folks, if you decide to grow a specific food, here's what I suggest. If you're going to decide to grow potatoes, learn several things. Learn the best way to grow the potatoes, what kind of soil potatoes like, what kind of bugs might attack potatoes, proper watering techniques for potatoes. So after you learn the basics of everything there is to know about potatoes, then you want to learn everything there is to know is how to store them. And then, or how to process them, like depending on what you want to do. If you're going to, if you're going to can them, if you're going to dehydrate them, or if you're going to store the potato whole, learn how to do those processes so that when you grow a crop, and let's say you're focusing on potatoes, you want to know from beginning to end what type of nutrients, you want to know everything about that crop before you go full on into it, because I would hate for someone to buy a bunch of seeds, throw a bunch of stuff into grow bags and grow a bunch of stuff. And they're like, okay, now what do I do with it? because some people, you can go out there, you can only eat so much in a day, folks. There's like my tomatoes. I can't eat all those tomatoes in a day. And learn things like propagation. Like I told you about the banana plant. The banana plant's a self-propagator. So I have 4 new banana plants and I only paid for 1. My strawberries this year, they're shooting off tendrils, or they're not tendrils. I forget the name of it because I'm not an expert gardener like David, but I have 3 strawberry plants, and I'm having another one that I'm about to cut because it has that roots on there, and I'm going to take that little piece, cut it, and add it to another bag, and have more strawberries. Some people don't like strawberries, but make sure if you're going to grow something, make sure you're going to grow something that you're going to consume, that you're going to like. Don't grow it just to grow it. And look, like how David said, and how I said, that you want to have a plan. You want to have a plan when you're getting into this whole gardening thing. You want to have a plan of what you're growing, why you're growing it, and try to evaluate it before you jump wholeheartedly into it, because you want to have a plan. Just like in preparedness, you want to have a plan for your garden. Here's what I like about container gardening and my grow bags. If I notice a plant is not doing so well in a specific area because it's getting too much sun, when they say full sun, they really mean about 6 to 8 hours. Well, like I told you folks on my last gardening video, my spot gets about 12 hours of sun. Some of those plants don't like it. They're not happy. So I'm able to move that plant into a more area where it gets more shade or less sun. That's the benefit to having grow bags or containers. Now, if you're ever going to put plants in the ground, and some of the more experienced people like the farmers and stuff like that and gardeners in here that put stuff in the grounds know that you have to plan out. You got to understand the sun and how it works, and what plants and where you're growing where. And of course the seasons, you got cold weather crops and warm weather crops and stuff like that. Florida's always warm, but believe it or not, Zone 9B does have a process. Certain things grow better at different times. You know what I mean? The bugs will eat your plants to nothing here in Florida. And one liberty, one freedom. Funny you say that, because I'm going to be dropping a video on Monday that I'm going to be using a very natural thing. What's up, Dale? 6 months, man. Appreciate that, brother. I'm going to be showing one of the natural ways that you can get rid of aphids. But it's going to be a fun video, because you need to learn how to use nature, because sometimes you might not have access to everything. If the world was to go insane, you might not have access to store-bought fertilizers. You might have access to store-bought pesticides. So you need to learn how to combat things now. That's why I say garden now. Learn how to garden. Learn what crops work best for you. Save your seeds. I let some of my plants go to seeds because I grew it. I knew it did well in the way I'm growing it. So I know those seeds next year will work better for me than some seeds that I got off the internet. Thank you, Texas T, for that. I appreciate that, brother. Always appreciate the support. Okay, y'all talking to me into carrots. Rachel. Matter of fact, Rachel, I got there's 2 or 3 carrots that are left out there that I got to pull. We just pulled some icicle radish. I think last week we pulled our icicle radish. That was a crazy crop that it just blew up. If you like radishes, you know what I mean? But like I said, herb gardens are great too. Herb gardens, you can grow right on your patio. You can grab herb gardens in the window. Like I said, and then think about medicinal plants, something like that. If you want to grow medicinal plants, you see that I'm growing lavender. You see that I'm growing echinacea. Those are things that I'm going to use. You guys see that I'm growing catnip. What else do I got out there? You see my elderberry. There's certain plants that I grow for medicinal purposes as well, because that's something that I wholeheartedly believe in as well, that you're going to need to know some of this stuff. And I know everybody can't have it. I understand some people say, I just can't garden. I don't have the money. But there's very cheap ways to start a garden, believe it or not. And if you're one of those people out there and you're having trouble, please email me. I'll do whatever I can. If you need a couple seeds, there's a lot of people in the community that have extra seeds. If you're in Florida and you say, hey, Grey, I really like that plant you grew, well, let me know and I'll try to get some seeds to you, because you're in the same zone as me. You know what I mean? I don't mind helping folks. If I can help people, just like we did the grow bag giveaway on Tuesday, help people get started in gardening. It's an essential part of emergency preparedness. Believe it or not, that's how I feel. Are all the whacked out cats in your yard gray? No, that would be funny, right? I do have one cat. No, funny enough, that would be hilarious. I do have a fence all around my property. For some reason, they don't come in here, probably because of the dog. And I have a pretty good security system, believe it or not. You know, I'm one of those paranoid preppers per se, that I have all kinds of motion detection systems, solar lights, cameras, you name it. I have layers and layers of security around my domicile. And that's just the way I think. And David, you know, it's funny you mentioned that. I was talking to someone about that the other day, about how you draw in specific insects that can help your plants. Where you can draw in, there's all kinds of different predatory insects that like to eat the bad insects. So you have good insects and bad insects. So whenever I see a spider in my garden, I let it hang out because I know it's going to eat stuff. You know what really agitates me is ants. Ants are good and bad because ants will carry the little aphid things up there and put them up there because they like the secretions, the sugar secretions, or whatever that the little aphid things do. So sometimes ants can be a part of the problem. But my favorite bug are bees. I love bees, man. And again, remember I told you folks, bees like the color purple. So if you want to attract some bees to your garden, plant some purple stuff. Echinacea has a purple flower. Lavender's purple. So you can also think about planting medicinal plants that have these purple flowers. It's also going to draw in those pollinators. I hope in the next few years to be an expert gardener. That's my goal. I've been reading books, watching videos, practicing what I preach, because I think it's an essential skill to have, is knowing how to grow your own food. Right on, Be Charming. Borax and sugar gets rid of ants. There's a lot of little things that you can learn, and maybe I'll do some videos on that. Matter of fact, I got some. I don't know if you guys know what is it? Calcium nitrate. I think it's calcium nitrate that I have coming in. I learned this from a old homesteader, and how to use just a little bit of calcium nitrate to help with some of my planting issues and mineral deficiencies and stuff like that. What's up, financial prepper? Bathtub Jen. Yeah, right. Oh, you guys are great. Someone keeps on, who is it? D14 that keeps on asking me about mead. Matter of fact, I've learned that you can grow, and David, you could probably back me up on this. You can grow, I think, is it wheat or barley? You can grow some of that stuff here in Florida, from my understanding. I watched, what's his name? That one guy in California, and he grew some, and because believe it or not, Zone 9B covers Florida and California. Quite weird, but that's just the way it is. Raptor Ranch, yeah, I guess you could use that for nitrogen if your plants. Do you guys know that you guys should rotate crops too, like your tomatoes and your beans? Because of the calcium and the nitrogen, and you can swap the soil that you use for your beans and swap that with your tomato soil and stuff like that. I figured most of you guys do. I just like little tidbits of information that I learn and I retain and like to share with you, the viewers. Mullen is awesome, JRC. Honeybee sea on neon. Yeah, it's like they're what do you want to call it? Like that UV look, like I said, but I know they love purple. They like that color. David says, yeah, the grains will grow okay, especially if planted in the fall. They're good for feeding the soil. Even if yields aren't great, we feed them to the chickens, then eat eggs. Very smart. That's what I figured, David. I figured there was a will, there's a way. And like I said, folks, if you ever look at Florida's agriculture, Florida grows a lot of different stuff. I started digging into what Florida produces, and they produce a lot of different plants because of our growing season. There's a lot of things that you can grow here that you can't grow in other places, like okra. Okra likes hot weather. It's crazy. And like people have been asking me about that Malabar spinach I'm growing. Well, the reason I'm growing Malabar spinach is because it's kind of a type of spinach. It's not your normal spinach. It's almost it's hard to explain the texture, but I'll show you guys when I make a Malabar spinach, when I add it to either food or something like that. I'll make a salad with it. it can get a little, I guess the leaves can get a little slimy when you cook it, but Malabar spinach works well in heat versus regular spinach, like your baby spinach and stuff like that. WC Ferguson says insecticidal soap. Yeah, great stuff. And you can make it at home, technically. Canola oil, rapeseed is just saying I don't cook with it anymore. Great for aphids through and save $30. Agreed, WC. Where would you find a chart with the crops to rotate and when? Savage, you can find a lot of stuff online, or you can reach out to people like David. They might be able to point you in the right direction. Savage. Oh my God, I grow eggs and chicken. Raptor Ranch. Southern Sown and Grown says I threw some pinto beans from the store in a bucket and I have sprouts in a few days. And you know, everything should be recycled, folks. And what I mean by recycle is if, you know, banana peels, coffee grounds, all that stuff should be going in your compost pile. If you have the opportunity, you can make a small compost pile. You know, you can get a drum, find a little spot in the yard, eggshells, all that stuff like that. You know, make a small compost pile, you know, yard debris, you know, like grass and dead leaves, you know, depending on where you live, that's free fertilizer. You always want to amend your soil with stuff like that. And if it's free, that's better, especially if you have chickens and stuff like that. That's some free fertilizer right there as well. You got to figure out how to kind of the life cycle of a garden and learn how to do that all independently without ever going to the store eventually. If you ever fully want to live off grid. Hummingbirds in my yard love the dill flowers. Funny enough, Devils, I'm going to be growing some dill as well. I'm going to try it. I got the seeds. They're heirloom. I think, is it giant dill? It's some sort of dill. But the wife asked for it, so I grabbed some for her. But, you know, that's all you can do. So Southern Sown and Grown, big poop. Oh, man, I got a great place to be. Anyone know how to get neighbor to not block my Blink camera? They have batteries, not hot wire. How did anyone... well, they're encrypted, Bonnie, but we'll have to talk about that another time. I use Blink cameras, Bonnie, but I also use a VPN connection on my internet. But that's a security thing. And if anybody has ever, I mean, there's loopholes. If you know what you're doing, you can hack almost anything. You can have layers and layers of security. But if there's someone who really wants to get in there and knows what they're doing, they're always going to find a way. Look at our systems, look at our governmental systems and how they get hacked, and company systems that get hacked. But you can use stuff like a VPN and stuff like that to try to protect yourself. Because your Blink cameras are running on a wireless connection. So you need to secure your wireless connection, which is hard, but it can be done. Passamaquoddy, what's up? Southern Sown and Grown says, yes, I grow dill all year in the windowsill. Kind of reminds me of the aloe plant, growing aloe plant in the windowsill. You should have aloe plant in your kitchen in case you burn yourself. You can have break off a piece of that aloe and treat that burn immediately. When it comes to getting burnt, you want to treat a burn fast as possible. Minuteman69 says, my cameras are hardwired and not connected to the internet. Minuteman, I hope you're hardwired. But if you have an app that connects to the camera, if there's any outside connection to your cameras, be it if you're trying to watch your cameras from your phone or an app or stuff like that, because someone said, hey, man, I have hardwired cameras. Check them out. And they were showing me on their phone. I said, so you still have access to the internet. So does everybody else. And I was laughing, and they were like, what do you mean? And I went through the whole process. Unless you have a total enclosed infrastructure of your cameras where you can only view them while you're in your house, which is something smart to do if you can do that. That's an option. You can do several. You can do cameras that you don't mind getting hacked per se, if that's a possibility, and also have a set of cameras that are basically internal that run off let's say a solar generator or some alternate power supply if the power goes down, because the power is bound to go down eventually, right? And run all that internally. So there's ways around, but we're getting way off topic. But let me see here. Closed circuit. Thank you, Be Charming. I don't know why I couldn't. That CCTV, closed circuit television. Yeah. But it's like the cameras at my shop. They're closed circuit television, but I have an app to access those cameras via the web. So it uses an HTTP protocol and through a port system. I address a port, and I'm probably getting technical. But you have to log in and then you can access those cameras. So if I can log in via the web, so can someone else. What's up, Firefly Farm? That's awesome, Minute Man. Great to hear. Great to hear. I'm just looking here. By the time I get everything planted and done, it will be canning season. Ain't enough time. So I agree. Someone asked me, Gray, what do you do with your time? I said, well, I have 2 jobs and I do YouTube. I said, I barely have enough time to sleep. But you got to do what you got to do sometimes, folks. You got to do what you got to do. David, I'm not a fan of okra well, but fried okra is a lot better than just eating like regular okra because it is kind of hairy-ish, whatever the little things on there. But if you fry it up, it's not too bad. I'm not a big fan, but hey, food is food sometimes, folks. Liz Chavez says calendula is best for burns. I think I've looked at I think we have calendula. I think I do have that hanging. Is it a hanging plant? I'd have to look. Barbara says no cats here. Mitten, you don't like okra, huh? Southern sown and grown, just keep on trucking and pray for the best. I agree. It's too hot to sleep. Yeah, I agree. It's getting nasty out there. It's getting nasty out there, folks. But like I said, I'm getting ready to harvest. I get some beans that are going to be ready. Some purple hall peas are going to be ready here soon. The tomatoes are producing heavily. Sorry, I was reading what David wrote. I got some harvesting to do already. It's going to be a busy season for me. It's going to be just constant, nonstop busyness for Gray and his family. But hey, we're together. We're enjoying life as best we can. And hopefully in the future, we'll get to retire and enjoy a little bit more. But, you can't always, that's one thing before we end this live stream is I want to say, you can't always have that train of thought that, yes, things are really bad and things are probably going to get worse. But that's why we prepare so that we can be insulated as best as we possibly can from some of this stuff. Will it hurt me still? It'll still hurt me in certain aspects, but not as much if I was unprepared. So that's a really key takeaway. As all this stuff is happening around us, it's one huge thing is as long as you're prepared, that'll give you some sort of insulation when things like this happen in the world, specifically America or specifically in your hometown. Let me see here. Whoops, didn't want to do that. But anyways, folks, I do want to wrap this up. I do got to get it really early. We're at an hour. If you got any value at all, please hit that thumbs up button. I truly appreciate that. And like I said, we got some cool videos coming out this week. I got more reviews to put out. I don't know how those work. Some of them I'll get out. I try not to inundate you guys with too much reviews, but I got to get them done because the companies start yelling at me via email like, hey, I haven't seen that video yet. And I'm like, yeah, I'll get it done. But anyways, folks, thank you. Thank you all for being here, hanging out with me and chatting. We always have great conversations. I love this community. You guys are an awesome group of folks. Mods, of course, you guys rock. You guys always rock. I swear you guys are like some of the best mods on YouTube. But thank you all for being here again. And remember, folks, you got to be, just please stay prepped up. Keep on doing what you're doing. Be safe out there. And remember, folks, you are not alone. The entire Gray family and myself here with you. All right, folks. This is GreyMan. I'm out. I'll see you guys in a rebound. God bless.